By this time of the month, the Sears Christmas catalog was all but destroyed. Many of the pages were dog-eared, others simply falling out, especially those that I'd marked, circled, starred. You know, my wish list. It was called the Wish Book after all. And now all I could do was wait. Waiting is really hard, especially when you're a kid. But worse than the waiting were the doubts. What if I wasn't good enough this year? What if Santa didn't have what I wanted? What if I'd asked for too much? And if I couldn't come up with enough things to worry about on my own, my mom did a real number on me in terms of, well, Santa doesn't always come through with what you want. Sometimes there are other boys and girls that need it more than you. What do you mean, Mom? More than me? Well, so anxiety peaked this week. I used to keep it at bay by trying to imagine what it was like to play with those things. I'd pull those pages out and drool over them again and again and again. And then came the doubts and the fears and the anxiety. What if? I'm so glad I outgrew Santa. Oh, really? I became an adult after all. Well, that's a matter of opinion. But I had children nonetheless. And those days, Santa looked a lot like me. You would think the anxiety would go away, but it actually got worse. What if I got the wrong thing? What if I didn't get exactly what they wanted? What if they're disappointed? What if they don't like it? What if they've changed their mind again? What if I can't find it? What if it doesn't come in time? What if I don't get it finished? And then there was that Christmas that Johanna wanted nothing but a turtle, like Bob the turtle in her classroom. We searched all over Pennsylvania, finally locating it in Ohio. It was a $25 turtle, but a $150 setup. And then the stupid thing all but died before Christmas, and we had to make an emergency trip back to Ohio to get a new one. Ugh. Thank God I've outgrown Santa Claus. Oh, really? I now have grandchildren. And I moved Christmas to June. So this week, it's peace on earth, goodwill to all. No anxiety whatsoever. I'm glad I outgrew Santa. Or did I? You see, one of the things that we do as adults that I've noticed a lot these days is that we look at God a lot like Santa. Or maybe it's that we've turned Santa into God. I'm not sure which. But we expect God to come through. We've replaced wish lists with prayer lists. This Santa God that we pray to, we expect to deliver. Kind of like a benevolent grandfather who gets us what we want by just asking. It's kind of like what we used to do with grandma and grandpas. We'd put pressure on them that they might put pressure on our parents to get us exactly what we wanted for Christmas. We do the same thing with God. We make out a prayer list. We send them around, and then we sit back and wait for God to deliver on our prayers. And when God doesn't, or when bad things start happening to good people, at least in our estimation, and things don't go the way we think they should, our prayers don't get answered the way we want, we get angry with God. What's the big deal? Why didn't you come through? Or we start wondering, maybe I didn't pray hard enough. Maybe I didn't get enough people on the prayer list. Maybe I didn't get enough prayer lists in all the churches and friends and family. Maybe I prayed for the wrong things. Maybe I don't have enough faith. Maybe I'm on God's naughty list. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I prayed the wrong prayer. Why, God? Why didn't you answer my prayer? And what happens with our prayers then is, instead of bringing us closer to God and to one another, we become alienated, and sometimes permanently. It doesn't help that the most endearing image these days at Christmas time is Santa praying at the manger. We do better to replace Santa with a cross, because that's the figure of God that we pray to. The God who humbled himself and became obedient to this human flesh, this human condition, who came down to earth in a helpless child, that God might know what it is like to be human, to walk our walk, talk our talk, to experience the dark days and the crises that we face. It is that God that promises to be with us in the muck and the mire of our human existence, in those days of crisis, and catastrophe, in chaos and confusion. He is with us. That's why we pray, that we might better see that God in the things around us, in the events and the people that he surrounds us with. We pray that we might see more clearly God's presence. And that prayer, God answers time and time again. In that great cloud of witnesses he surrounds us with, those family and friends, those strangers, those crazy things that just seem to happen when we need them most. In the words of the season, Emmanuel, God is with us, now and always. Thank God I've grown out of Santa. Really?